Hey guys, what's up? It's Mabasei here. I'm back with a brand new fucking video, and this time I wanted to make a little commentary on a certain little spat that I've been observing that's been going on for maybe like a couple of days or so. But is a perfect for me launching pad about an issue that happens online that is just so annoying and stupid, and that would be the pseudo-intellectualism that so many people practice. It's really upsetting to see, just because like it makes no sense. And even some of these people, like some people I would probably bring up in a second here, actually do in fact have some manner of intelligence about them in general, and do in fact sometimes possess degrees, and they're still fucking pseudo intellectual fucktards, and it's really fucking sad. So the video that spurred this video was a video by a prominent by semi-prominent black sector YouTuber known as a one Cynthia G, and she was addressing a video that I did not even know existed by another somewhat prominent YouTuber in the black sector known as one Mrs. Christelyn Karazin. So what had happened was Cynthia G did her usual thing where she kind of uses the fact that she has like a degree and all this stuff when it comes down to psychology, and goes around breaking one of the biggest integral rules when it comes down to studying psychology, on any real way. It's always recommended, even if after you finish out like your doctorate or something like that, you don't go around diagnosing a person or persons that you are not truly comfortable and familiar with on a professional level. So if you've ever been in counseling or to a psychologist or even maybe like a psychiatrist, you might not even get a real diagnosis from them until you've seen them at least like several times over the course of between maybe about 3 to 6 months, depending on the psychiatric care specialists you're dealing with. And she just kind of goes all willy-nilly saying that this is the psychology of that, and this is psychology of this and that and that and this, and it really gets mucky and it's murky, and sometimes it seems like it could be spot on, but that's still dodgy, right? When you don't have a real kind of way to pin it all down in a professional setting. It's all merely I guess armchair psychology, right? And shit tier armchair at that, since we're based on like articles and YouTube videos and all that stuff. So yeah, so she did her usual thing of doing that sort of shit and pulled out her big book of everything when it comes to psychology, which is it's great that she has one. I'm glad. It's one of the latest revisions. That's great. And she used it to deflect from a point made in the video by Mrs. Karazin about where they were discussing this video that went viral of this Trump supporter guy cursing out his mixed race girlfriend. I didn't know this chick was mixed race. I mean, if she mixed race, I couldn't tell. I mean, I couldn't see her mixed raceness past her Negro nose. But whatever. So yeah, as they were discussing that situation that she was in, they were kind of talking about long term and how the guy was something of a douchebag, kind of abusive, and etc. And it came out that he was narcissistic or diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And Mrs. Karazin in fact said that explains a lot, when honestly that explains nothing, like at all. I mean, maybe in some sort of armchair pseudo-intellectual way it does, but it really doesn't in any like serious way. It doesn't, because you're not a trained professional. So even like just your opinion on what the diagnosis is worth about like a quarter diddly and like the rest of 75% squat. And then Sin going up and saying kind of just pointing that out, like, was right, but she tends to do some of that same thing, which I call bullshit, right? Like she does that same thing. She'll go and try and correlate certain symptoms, etc., of mental and personality disorders, and then apply them to fucking either groups of people or a person in some sort of situation of like a news story or article or from some viral video, etc., usually in regards to something to do with like racism, etc. So yeah, there's that. So she does that too, and it was really weird for her to try and ring in and try and appeal to herself as the authority here and try and knock down that talking point, since she does it too, which is both bad. And in this instance, she's right. Correlation is not causation. And then after that, there was a follow-up video by the one Mrs. Karazin, where she went into like detail about why she thought that, and she cited a study that she found through Google before the video and all that. Now, this also just goes back to more pseudo-intellectualism and committing the correlation and causation fallacy that is very common here on the internet, especially when we're talking about things such as especially on psychological levels. I don't know what it is. Whenever we start, like, people started discussing and getting into like psychological discussions and discussing concepts within psychology, people commit that shit a lot. Like a lot, and that's kind of just what happens when you're not professionally trained in the field. So you'll end up maybe like reading a definition of a personality disorder or a mental illness, etc., and then applying it to a person who seems to be fitting it, not knowing that you really don't have any clue what you're saying and whether or not it's true. And then in that same follow-up video, she cited the study, etc., and it really didn't really prove much of her own point. It just proved that it was a possibility and it could explain a lot, but it doesn't mean that it did or that it does. It's the correlation causation fallacy, as I mentioned before. And the real kicker for me was, just like Sin in her video, that she goes about attempting to appeal to this study as her authority now, and is touting about and talking about her superior intellect and how people are dumber than her, while doing the same dumb thing that they do, which is finding some study that you more than likely are not trained in the terms and methodology and rigor to actually take in, read, and analyze, and then taking that shit and running with it, or reading off definitions and thinking, this sounds like someone I know, they must have this personality disorder. That sort of like rookie ass moves committed by stupid fucks all the time. So it's that was just a particular situation that I thought perfectly encapsulated the shitty pseudo-intellectualism that I see all over YouTube. This was just like a very big glaring example involving these two women, but there's probably more. If anyone knows any more that they think of, whether it be like any particular YouTubers or particular type of arguments you see, or etc., leave a comment. Let's hear about it. Let's talk about it. Laugh at it. This has been Mabasei. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.